So that always amuses me. But yeah, it's purely because it's just a lot of fun to hang out with folks, to entertain them, and it's just a fun day. I know it sounds crazy, but it's fun for everybody.
Right. How many people are on the waiting list to get into like how many like attempts to come in or reservations or applications do you get a day to come into the
I get
Manor?
roughly between, yeah, it's crazy. I can't control it all because I'm a one man operation. So I get between 300 to 500 requests on my Facebook page a day. And then I have to do a cut and paste email to every single one of them explaining what the rules are, what to do, how to do, so that takes me all day just to do that. And so it's insane. But I do all that because I need people who are serious. And when I send them out the requirements and what I need them to do, like watch these 7 movies and understand what it's all about, and then call me, and then we'll have an interview, and then we'll do another interview. That way I know they're serious, that they're willing to put the time and energy into this thing as well. But yeah, I can't keep track of it. And so then it's just first come, first serve on who gets their medical letters and gets all the things I need. We're booked well into 2019 solid wise. And it's just hard to even keep track of that. I need help. I'm just one guy trying to put the show on, restage the show, do all the correspondence. It's stupid, ridiculous
You need a secretary.
that I do all this. I need a lot more than that. I need a crew. Yeah, I need a crew to help me out. Yeah, it's nutty. So that's kind of how it works.
GE, do you have another question that you want to ask? What I'm going to do now is, Betty, I'm going to send you the link to join the call, and we're going to see if you have what it takes to make it through the Manor. And while I get that set up for you, G, if you've got anything else that you want to ask, go ahead and do that, and I'll bring her in.
Oh, yeah, I've been copying and pasting questions from the live chat. Sorry, I didn't copy the names of people that asked it, so sorry about that. But so we have somebody asking, has anyone ever tried to kidnap you, Russ?
No, not yet, but that'd be entertaining. I've had that threat. I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't do my own hunt now, right on. Yeah, as of yet, no one in reality has. But again, I get some crazy, correspondence saying they're going to do all kinds of wild stuff, and yeah. But no, sorry, no one's kidnapped me yet.
Okay. Now, as far as these health qualifications, I guess, like, is there like a height requirement for the tour in general?
No. The first thing I ask everybody is what's your height, weight, and age? Because there's not really a requirement, but I do need to know if you can fit inside the contraptions and that type of thing, and that would tell me what I can and can't do. And I need people who are pretty physically fit. Again, it's not near as physical as it used to be. That's why I've lowered the age requirements to 18 instead of 21. It's mainly a mental thing. I can tell you and your listeners right now that no one's going to lay a hand on you. No one's going to smack you around. No one's going to do anything. It's not that kind of a show. It's a mental show. So physically, it's quite easy, but psychologically, it's extremely challenging. And that's why I have to really, pay attention to that and choose the right kind of folks. But we could take people in, we could take amputees. It doesn't matter because I can build a show around to anybody. And I get that question all the time. Hey, I'm in a wheelchair. Can I do it? Yeah, you can do it. I hit an arm or a leg. Sure. I've got this disease. Can I do it? Yeah. Because as long as I know what you've got going on, I can build around your particular situation and keep you safe. So it's kind of open for everybody.
What would exclude someone from coming in?
Blood diseases like HIV, AIDS, that type of thing, because we don't want anybody. Clearly, blood is blood, and you have to be very careful with that. And you can get cuts and bruises here, so that type of thing. Even we met a gal with multiple sclerosis that we cleared her for because we could figure out a way to give her a really fun, entertaining show without putting her through something that would put her in any kind of danger with her multiple sclerosis. So it's just a lot of common sense. As long as I know what I'm working with, and that's why it's so important to be honest with me about your health conditions, because I'll try to work with you. And and then on the psychological level, I want to make sure that we're not going to trigger anything. We don't want to. I mean, everybody's goofed up mentally. We are all goofed up, but I want to make sure that I don't trigger any kind of PTSD or any other traumatic events. And again, as long as I have the information, I can guide your tour around what you've got going on. So, I can let a lot of people in that maybe you think couldn't go in just because I can work around their situation. Oh, I know someone that couldn't go in. We had a person with a hearing issue. Not that they were deaf, but they had, I can't think of the name of it, but they had this huge, they have this item that's actually implanted into their skull. And that they couldn't go in because if something hit that and broke that off, well, then obviously that would be a really serious issue. So, and like me, for example, I couldn't go because I've got plates in my head. I had brain surgery twice 6 years ago. I had brain bleeds and I almost died, and I actually shouldn't be here. I should be like under the ground, but I'm here. So twice I've had brain surgery, and I look like a baseball. I got plates in my head. I've had a stroke and seizures from that stuff. Well, that would eliminate somebody from going through because I can't let my head get rattled around anymore. I got to be really careful with my noggin. So something like that would keep somebody out as well.
Let me ask real quick, Betty, can you hear us?
She's not here, Kyle. I think she's having the same problem Russ had earlier, where she needs to put the link into her web browser on her phone.
Well,
as opposed
to I told her that. It just said that she logged in right now as you were talking.
It's been saying that the whole time. Like she's done. There's a couple times she's been logged in, but it's not communicating with the software on the other end, so it can't get.
Got it. Okay. Go ahead with your the other questions that you've got copied and pasted, and I'll see if I can't figure out what's going on here.
Well, this comes actually from KC. Have you been evaluated for any kind of mental disorders?
That's a good one. I like that. Dude, there's an LIC right there. Have I been evaluated? Well, let's see. Again, I held down 23 years in the military. Straight after that, worked as a veteran service officer for the Veterans of Foreign Wars for 13 years. Never had any trouble in law enforcement, within the law. So I think I'm a pretty upstanding young man, actually. And so I guess there hasn't been a reason to evaluate me. So,
well, no.
So the answer would be no.
Well, sorry. I think she was being more hyperbolic than anything.
I like that. But that's a good question. I've never been asked that before, so that's good. Well, but people do call me all kinds of.
Well, I mean, I am actually kind of curious as to what the psychological toll is on you, like going through this.
It's just entertainment. It's okay. People go through this. I look at them as my actors. I'm a filmmaker. So when someone goes through, I look at the folks going through as the star of my movie. So when they're taking the tour, I look at edits in my mind. I look at camera angles. Because everything is filmed, of course, right? So I look at them as we're making a movie. And I tell them the same thing. We're making a movie. And so I'm trying to present it in a very cinematic fashion. So when you go through it, you do feel like you're living your own horror movie, but in a very safe way. And so I look at you like for lighting. I'm trying to get the magic Kodak moments that I'm looking at and looking for, at the same time keeping you safe and sound, of course, and giving you a really exciting adventure. But I look at that each contestant in a very different fashion. I'm not trying to traumatize them or anything else. I'm just trying to make a good, entertaining movie. I'm trying to give them a good show. I'm trying to make it exciting for them and for the audience who's going to eventually be watching their movie. So my mindset is totally different. I'm not like, oh yeah, oh yeah. No, I'm just trying to get these magic moments that I've designed in my head that I'm trying to present on film. And so that's kind of how I look at it. I'm a director.
Okay, I have an idea about how we're gonna have to do this a really strange way, but hopefully it'll work. Because for some reason it's not allowing her to connect through that channel. So what I'm going to do, Betty, I'm going to actually call you on Discord and put you on speaker, and that way you can answer the questions that way and see if you have what it takes to come or go through the Manor. So I'm going to send that message to you right now. Okay. See if we can't get Betty now. Oh, allow. Can you hear me? Betty? Betty? That's not working either now. I swear, this is... it's not meant to be, Betty, I don't think. Can you hear me? I'm not getting anything from Betty. It's strange.
Okay. I do have a couple more questions.
Oh.
Thank goodness.
There we go. Okay, hey, Betty.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, Betty, how you doing?
Thank you very much. Hello.
Can you hear me, Betty?
Can you hear Russ?
Oh, bad Betty, can you hear me?
Betty, can you hear me? I don't understand what's happening here. Betty.
How about now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Can you hear us?
Perfect, yes.
Can you hear me,
okay,
Betty?
Perfect. Can you hear Russ?
Betty, can you hear me, though?
Sir, are you there?
Yeah.
I've done my research. I'm sorry.
I do. I tell you what, give me 2 seconds. I know what's going on. She can't hear Russ because it's going through the headphones. So let me reroute my...
Thank you guys so much.
Now say something, Russ. Let me see if I can hear you through my main speakers.
Can you hear me?
There we go. All right, you should be able to hear Russ now.
Sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. Hello.
Okay, you should be able to hear each other now, Russ.
I hear Russ.
Okay, perfect. Now, why do you want to go through McKamey Manor?
Wow. I'm not I'm going to do this Rambo style. I just feel I think I'm not good. Listen, everybody says I think I'm going to go all the way, or at least 3 hours, or at least this, and they last like 2 minutes. I know the longest was 6 hours.
You guys really see, you guys
hold on, Betty. Yeah, the new record is 0 seconds, Betty.
Wow.
So Betty,
wow.
Betty is one of those ones who, again, who haven't watched anything new, and they're on these hack channels, which is unfortunate. That's
Yeah, but Russ, what would be something that you would ask Betty if you were like you do in your interviews?
Right, so,
like what do you look for?
So, in a nutshell, here's what I ask. First, I ask what's your height, your weight, and your age. I need to make sure that it's appropriate for what we're looking at. I ask if there's any kind of medical limitations, broken bones, pins, rods, plates, whatever. Again, like I talked about, I can work around stuff, but I need to know what they are. So I need to know about that. I ask if there's any psychological issues, any kind of trauma issues. And we go into great detail about that because that's really important for me not to traumatize somebody. So we have that conversation. I ask what kind of movies you like. And why do I ask that? Because I'm looking for high quality individuals. I don't want folks I need folks that like know what this is. If you're thinking this is some BDSM thing or something sexual or you're going to get roughed up and everybody's going to be pounding on. No. if that's what you're thinking